Hey again! Welcome back to the Gender and Sexuality Resource Center Feminism series. Before we begin, we need to clarify a few things, especially concerning the misogynistic attacks against our first video. Our goal here at the GSRC is to create a safe space in order to have these conversations and in order to grow as people and to critically think about these abstract ideas. Sexism is really hard to explain, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening. We never expected the video to blow up as it did, considering that was the first video I had ever done in my entire life. Our video is meant for students on campus to be able to find their own feminism, like maybe trying out the Feminism 101 class that's offered here. Just like this video is intended for the LGBTQ community in order for them to find their own feminism and resources. We acknowledge that these ideas are new to others out there on the internet. We do not claim authority over feminism, and even as a senior in women's gender and sexuality studies, I am learning more every day. One thing I have learned from this video is that the internet is not a safe space for women. Lastly, we need to clarify what rape culture is. Although there is no one definition, rape culture is basically the belief that sexual violence is excused and normalized throughout society, like blaming the victim instead of blaming the rapist. Let me direct you over to the guys at College Humor who explain rape culture with an interesting analogy. Moving on to bridging the gap between communities is connecting oppressions that society instills on women, people of color, the poor, and the LGBTQ community. Yet, why are we all pitted against each other? The star of the series Orange is the New Black, Laverne Cox, said it best. Hurt people hurt people. She also said, I think trans women and trans people in general show everyone that you can define what it means to be a man or a woman on your own terms. A lot of what feminism is about is moving outside of expectations of who and what you're supposed to be. Each of us are unique with unique experiences. The boxes that I emphasized in the first video are examples of strict dichotomies that society instills on us, like boy, girl, straight, gay, when in reality, there's a ton of identities in between these strict dichotomies. It is a lot harder to unlearn what society has taught you how and who you're supposed to be. Large power structures like the government, criminal justice system, schools, hospitals, media, popular culture all perpetuate this and affect different groups of oppressions differently and in similar ways. For example, homophobia stems from the same masculine expectations that perpetuates misogyny, that the LGBTQ community and women are weak. There's a problem when specific groups are targeted like this from these larger power structures because their values, attitudes, and beliefs trickle down into everyday interactions. No one wants to acknowledge that they have privilege. This is often referred to as the oppression Olympics. There is no competition of who has it worse. All groups have unique issues that need to be talked about. We'll always be able to find a worse example of classism, racism, or sexism, and this pattern is problematic. We don't want our voices silenced, and we don't want your voices silenced either. But we need to understand that some voices are louder than others. No matter what group you're in or what you identify as, you deserve a voice. And that is what the Gender and Sexuality Resource represents, is including everyone to be able to have their voices heard.